Welcome back to Your Road to Home, the podcast that takes you beyond your front door here in the Carbon Valley. I'm Kinder Badgekar with LPT Realty, here with
Maxine Carey of Vector Bank, and we are here with Don Conyac of the Mayor of Firestone. So we invited him back, and you were willing to come back. So thank you,
Yes,
Don.
thank you.
Don. We are not in the car anymore, as you all know, but we're excited to check back in. We first met with you kind of the week of your swearing in as
Yes.
mayor.
Yep.
So we asked him if he'd come back and give us some more updates, and I think we got some good stuff for you. So yeah, how's it been being the mayor?
It's been good. Let's see, it's been busy.
I bet so.
The first week we had that little incident up there with Barefoot Lakes, and
you got kicked right into the office, didn't you?
yeah, that was fun. Not, but that has played out over the years, and I don't know if you know this, but they have moved out.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
That's great.
And now that the tension in that neighborhood should be calming down now, and
Beautiful.
and that was an interesting portion of what'll be history in Firestone, but
Yeah, absolutely.
hopefully that won't be an issue again.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we
Well,
appreciate all your hard work that you did on that.
Yeah.
You worked through that.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
That was a really tough
Yeah.
situation for sure.
So, yeah, and I learned a few things in that as
I'm
well.
sure.
So we'll
I
go
bet
from there.
so something down the hill. There's lots of talk about what the Target, maybe
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A coming in.
Yeah,
Is that real? Is it
Target is real.
okay?
They closed on March 28th.
Yep.
And so you should be seeing construction equipment out there pretty darn soon.
Great.
That's exciting. That's
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, and we're looking at what's been told to us is a year to maybe 14, 15 months
Okay.
build. They got to put a lot of infrastructure in, so you'll see a lot of land movement out there for a little while. But then after that, you're going to see them go vertical, and we'll have a department store in Firestone
Wow,
for the first
I
time.
can't believe it. That's really exciting.
What's the disruption you think will happen on 119 because of that infrastructure and that build out?
Actually, it shouldn't be too bad because you have a mine pit right there. So if they're going to need any mining fill material, it's right there. So it's
Right.
going to be very, very
Perfect.
small. Granted, you'll have some material deliveries, but they're going to hit. There's going to be an entrance off of the frontage road as you turn in, so it should be very minimal.
Great.
Yeah, so
Perfect.
that should be good. Chick-fil-A, it's going to be located directly north of Burger King at the corner, so it'd be the northwest corner of Arbor and Colorado Boulevard. Try that. Their building permit and their final grading permits have been issued.
Great.
Just waiting on them to build.
All right.
So you're serving up some chicken sandwiches on the opening day?
If the owner wants me to, I will gladly do that.
Okay.
I'm a fan.
You've heard that here.
I am a fan of Chick-fil-A, and
like
so that would be. I'd do it.
That's amazing.
I worked fast food when I was in high school, so that's nothing new to me.
I love that. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know what?
I would come get some chicken from you on opening day.
Towards the owner,
Yeah.
whoever the owner is.
Yeah,
so.
that's exciting. Do we know that yet? Or is
Not-
that still up in
not-
the air?
I don't know who
Okay,
it is.
okay.
So yeah.
I know there's been some buzz about that as well. So.
There is buzz, but nothing's been announced and nothing that I've heard. So,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
We'll wait and
Nice.
see then.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we got into a conversation off screen, but I know that this is going to be a really important one for residents here in Firestone. We were talking about metro taxes.
Yeah.
There's some new developments coming in, so maybe we can touch on the new developments coming in first and then dive into what you've learned about metro taxes and the new change that Firestone's implementing, because
Yes.
that's a big deal for residents coming
Yeah.
in.
Big
Yeah, it was one that's was near and dear to my heart. Having my mother-in-law have to go through that, and basically we'll start off with the first part of your question. That's bad English, but that's me. We have Denmore Filing, that is over near Colorado Boulevard and Frontier. They're supposed to be going vertical now. Well, why we haven't seen any of it go up, we don't know yet,
Okay.
but all their infrastructure's in, their streets are in. Should start seeing houses
So
pretty
how many
soon.
rooftops are over there? Do you know?
It's just over 500.
Okay.
Okay.
May even be closer to the 600 mark. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen that paperwork.
And that will be a typical Metro tax district.
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh. I do know that that's Tri-Point Homes that's coming in,
Okay.
so a different builder.
Mm-hmm.
And then further south on Frontier, we have Frontier Estates, which is going in next to Saddleback Heights.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Meritage Homes.
Okay.
Those will be small lots. They'll be about 4,000 feet. Lots of smaller homes, but hopefully something that, it's a different product for Firestone.
Right.
And there'll be about, if I remember right, there's like 189 lots in there.
Okay.
And both of those single-family homes.
Single-family detached homes.
Detached
yes.
homes. Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah. So let's talk on the Metro tax. How
Metro districts, yes.
Metro district. Sorry,
Mhm.
and how Firestone is going to have the homeowners, consumers' backs on that.
Right. Back when I first got in as trustee back in 2018, a fellow trustee who is now Mayor Pro Tem Frank Menace and I, we were part of a Metro district coming into Firestone. Didn't understand the process at the time, and it was allowing them to come in, and we were told that this is statutory. Colorado allows them, so technically we can't say no to them.
Right.
And so the mills that they were allowed to charge just didn't sit well with me. I mean, they were upwards of 50, 60 mills, and that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
I mean, depending on the price of the house, that could be thousands of dollars, and it is thousands of
Yeah,
dollars.
annually. Yeah.
Yeah, as part of your property tax.
Yeah.
And I'll get back into the property tax thing with that, but that just didn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
I believe that developers should just front the money up front, put it in the base price of the house. That's the way it used to be.
Right.
But Colorado, try that again. Colorado allows this to happen. So developers are taking advantage of it.
I feel like they kind of swept it under the rug to make it seem like it was more of an affordability. We're doing this to make these homes more affordable for consumers, right? But they're
That's
not.
how it was presented.
Right.
Well, I think that's
And-
how it started, right?
Right.
To make it more affordable, and now, are some.
Well, what it was pitched as, hey, we're going to make this more affordable because we can drop the price of the house.
Right.
But it was a bait and switch, because if you look at it, this becomes a perpetual tax that never goes away.
Right. Right. Which is
And
scary.
so, and you're talking thousands of dollars a
sad.
year in taxes that, for most right now, until we changed it, the developers got this.
And
And-
it could never be adjusted until the homeowners took control of the
Well,
The
yeah,
development.
and the thing is what I would like to tell homeowners is, look at your Metro District board. And if you were a totally built out subdivision, it should be completely homeowner driven. You should not have a developer on there anymore unless there are not enough homeowners that are on this board. And once homeowners have the majority, they become homeowner driven. And then some rules change, but for the most part, these boards are developer driven. And so they're looking out after their own
Their own pockets.
pockets,
Yep.
and okay, that's just the way it is. But as homeowners gain that, then they can change it. They can let that property tax drop
Expire,
off,
yeah.
but they have to understand also that they will have to make a deal with the town, because those taxes that come in from Metro District will be there to deal with streets, sewer, any infrastructure that's part of that district. So if they choose to let that drop off, that's fine. The town can come in and pick it up, but we'll have to make a deal as to what that cost would be.
Is
And
there
it more likely will be a lot less than what they're paying right now.
Is there someone within the town that, you know, if the homeowners have taken control, is there someone within the town that they can speak to and kind of they can navigate that?
Sure. The person you could talk to is the town manager. They'll probably refer you to the planning department.
Okay.
But definitely the town manager would be your first place, because then he can disseminate it to the proper people. But yeah, that's definitely something that we want to fix. And segueing off of that is 6 months ago, the town of Firestone, we created and passed a new, what we call a model service plan for metro districts. And what that does is every metro district has to come in with their service plan to us, and that's where Frank and I were first exposed to this. And we just couldn't understand why this was the way it was. And so we did some research into it, and what it was is people, and Frank himself, he lived in a metro district. He didn't understand it when he first moved in. And what it is you don't hear about metro districts for the most part till you get to closing.
Right.
Well, most people have already sold their other house, or they're stuck and spent enough money that when you see this at closing, you're kind of stuck and you end up having to do that.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all. That to me just didn't sit well as far as being up front. And so what we have now is that the new service plans that come to Firestone since 6 months ago, August, I believe, is when we did that, is there has to be notification in the kitchen of every model home. And it's supposed to be near the sink or on the stove. And it has to be a placard, very well, very conspicuous is how we say it, that this development is a metro district and you will be owing taxes on this metro district. Can't remember the exact wording, but that's what has to happen now, so that people know that this is a metro district subdivision.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, some of the things that we also put in now, the mills that they can charge, that is state driven, statutory. We can't touch that. Wish I could, but can't.
Right.
But what we did do is now the original bond that is for the metro districts, that bond must be paid off within the time frame. I think it's 30 and sometimes 40 years.
Okay.
Okay? It cannot be, what's happening is a lot of times is you have developers that are refunding, what they call refunding. It's not paying it off, it's rebonding. And what happens is then they push that tax out even further. And if they're the
Holder of the bond.
what am I trying to say? They're the ones that are still in control of the board. They can control that. All right, and then what happens is a lot of times, and this is what we saw in some of our research, was developers were actually buying their own bonds, and then they were getting paid back.
Right.
Not all developers did, but a lot of them were. And again, that just didn't set well with me.
Yeah.
So they're refinancing it out,
Further,
paying themselves back further, while no change, no lower to the current metro tax for the homeowner.
right? It was a perpetual tax.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that just didn't set well with me. And so the town of Firestone has set up a rule that the tax must sunset at the original maturation date. You cannot refund unless the interest rate is lower. And if you do refund, it has to be lower. And it has to mature at the original maturation date. It cannot go any further than that.
That's awesome. That's a really big deal.
But those rules won't apply once the homeowners control that board. Once the homeowners control the board, it's yours. You choose what you need to do. If you want to make improvements or whatever, and you want to rebond, then totally up to you
Okay.
and give you that freedom. And we don't want to get involved with that.
Right.
And how are developers liking this new?
Well, so far, we still have new metro districts that are coming in.
Perfect.
Meritage was one. And so, yeah.
That's great.
And they will be. This will be.
Yeah, they will be under these new rules.
Okay. And then Barefoot has a couple new phases coming.
A couple of new phases. I believe they're under the new rules.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that, but I'm almost positive that I will guarantee you the newer ones will be.
Very
Yeah.
cool. That's exciting news for homeowners.
So, I'm gonna plug Kendra right now. So it does matter who you work with. You need to know who, you need to work with agents who know about metro taxes.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
when you're in those
Understandable.
properties and you see the placard that is identifying metro tax, this is a metro tax property or
Yes.
district, your agent should be able to explain that to you very clearly.
Yeah.
And if they can't, then, you need to do your research.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the big thing is that first year you're in your house, you will get your property tax, and that property tax is low because at the point in time before you buy that house, it's agricultural.
Right.
Yeah.
You're paying
It's
just
an empty
the,
lot.
the
You're paying for the
land.
land.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so you're just paying for the land. The very next year, now the metro tax comes on, your building tax comes on, and you're going to have a triple bill.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I want to emphasize is look at your property tax bill, not just the total cost, but look at what incorporates your property tax bill, because your biggest outlay for your property taxes will be your metro district, usually number one, the highest.
Yeah.
Number two will be the school district.
Yep.
And then there'll be others. The town of Firestone is actually pretty low on that list. I can't remember what we charge. I think it's 8 mils or something like that. It's not very much. Real little.
Is it? Are you positive with what you get from property taxes? Because I've heard Longmont, the town manager said that they don't even gain enough on their property
Oh,
taxes.
as far, well, do we bring in a lot of money? No, we
Yeah.
don't. But, we wouldn't ask for a tax raise. One, we all know that asking for a tax increase, ask the rec district how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fly in
Yeah.
the Firestone community, and
Yeah.
I understand it, and I'm not asking for more taxes. But in order to do certain things, we have to be creative, and
Right.
that, we'll talk about that
Yeah.
in the Central Park discussion that we're having. But yeah, it's
We're
be
gonna have
very
to keep having you
cognizant
on
of
the
that.
podcast.
Yeah.
To keep us updated.
I will gladly come.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's good. It's good information, and just kind of a backstory. You have personal experience with that. You have a family
Yeah,
member that bought
yes.
into the metro district that was not educated on the metro district and the metro district. I can't talk either. And then,
They,
after they were in the property and the next year's tax, property tax.
yeah, triple.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
rough.
and yeah, so we're firsthand as well, and we didn't like it, and so I wanted to change that. That was one. Excuse me. That was one of the things that, to me, it seemed underhanded. At least, maybe it wasn't, but to me, it felt that way.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking out for your constituents.
Well, yeah, I want people to know.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
I want it to be upfront, and that just didn't seem like it was upfront.
Yeah.
And it puts the realtors in a tough spot if they're not up to date on what's going
Yeah.
on with it as well.
And your lenders need to be telling you about that metro district.
Yes, very much
And,
so.
hopefully charging you up front for it so you know what to expect, and charging you that appropriate mill up front so you don't have the surprise, when you're
Yeah,
escrow
in
analysis.
escrowing it
Yeah,
out, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. That's a good thing to be aware of because they try to entice you in right now with a lower interest rate. So you're going to have a more affordable payment. And that's what a lot of buyers are attracted to right now, getting into new construction. But then knowing that payment's not necessarily, it's not a balloon payment, but it's going to feel like it
Yeah.
after that first year. So making sure that you're ready for that. We see a lot of turnover after the first year or two in new construction. I think that has a lot to do
It
with
has
it.
a lot to do with it.
Is that people get in a little bit over their heads, realizing that this wasn't as affordable as I thought that it was going to be. So something that you need to have, you need to have the conversation up front with your like you said, lender and realtor. Make sure
Yeah.
you really know what you're getting into, what your affordability is going to look like, because it's going to change after that first year dramatically. Yeah.
And metro taxes aren't really Colorado wide. Like I know I have some coworkers that are down south, and we talk about metro tax, and they're like, "What's a metro tax?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? You don't know what a metro tax is?" They're all over northern Colorado.
Right.
We have them. I think
Yeah.
they're coming in now
They
into the
will.
southern, the construction, but it's not. It's not readily known in through all of Colorado. I don't think.
Right, and developers have the choice to do metro district or not. Personally, I think as from a homeowner's perspective, it's cheaper to have your house payment or the original part of your house, because houses don't go down. I mean, they'll go up and then come down.
Right.
But they're not going to, rarely do they come down to
Right.
your original price.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's better for you to pay for your house outright without the metro district.
Yeah, it
And
is.
that demand has to, in order for that to change, it's going to take people demanding that metro districts don't exist anymore.
Do you think a lot of municipalities will adopt what Firestone is doing?
I do not know that answer. I hope they do for their residents' sake, because it's going to eventually save the residents money, or at least get them to the point where they control the board and then they control their future. It's
Yeah.
up to them at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you one of the first areas to do that, to
We
implement
are the
this?
first.
The very first?
Yes.
That's
As
really
far as I'm aware of.
And how did you learn about this? Like, is it like, how did you know about these?
One experience it, asking questions, myself and Frank and the town manager, going through saying, hey, this is what's going on. The town manager is very good at what he does, gave us a lot of information to go look up what we needed to look up.
awesome.
And he understands it as well.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ask questions.
Yeah.
Before you sign on the dotted line and get to closing, ask questions.
Yeah, because
That's
they're
the
required to
big key.
give all that information up front. You're supposed to get the website, know exactly what the debt amount is, all of the things, all of it's written out for you, but you have to ask for it. They're not just going to readily say, here's
Well,
what you're signing up for, but if you ask, they have to give it to you.
Well,
Yeah.
we're all busy, but that shouldn't be an excuse. And
Right.
that closing packet's thick.
It's thick.
And you go reading through it, and you're like, I don't understand this. And then you look at what it's going to cost you, and go, I think I need to understand this.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Well, and just another point. If you think you can go into a new build district that has a metro tax and manage that yourself,
Please don't.
yeah, please, you need to understand it. So
Yeah.
call an agent. Walk
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Because again, like Kendra said, they're not going to hand that over to you willingly. You need the experienced agent behind you saying, hey, make sure you send us the stuff on the metro tax so we can, be fully educated before we, sign on the dotted line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make sure your realtors do understand metro taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And ask them, hey, are you understanding, and what do you know about them?
Yeah.
Right.
And
And
hear
by
what
now
they
they
have to say.
should. By
Yeah.
now they should.
Absolutely.
But-
Northern Colorado, they should.
Yeah, just make sure.
Yeah, best definitely northern Colorado, because that's where most of the latest growth has been occurring.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, especially Carbon Valley. Yeah.
Mhm.
So what about the park?
Central Park. We're still working on trying to get us a park. It's been pretty tough since we were moving forward with it, and then COVID hit. And COVID is still lingering to
Yes.
this day.
Yes.
I'll be very honest with you. The economy, they're not going to tell you, but we've been in a recession. We've been in a recession for about a year, although you will not see that on mainstream media.
Right.
But you look at the numbers, I know housing has definitely slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the exact numbers, but it has slowed down. And we see it in permits. Like I said, we've got two areas that were supposed to be vertical by now, and they're not. So, we're hoping that here soon, it breaks loose and we can get moving again.
Right.
But
How quickly is permitting through Firestone? You
Uh,
getting through fairly quickly?
yeah,
It's not a long process.
we're ready to go.
Okay.
We're ramped up. We got it. They've been permitted. I know they have numerous houses that have been permitted. They're just not moving because obviously they see something in in the economy that we don't. But,
Right.
you know, inflation has been kicking everybody's butt. And so we just have to
Yeah.
endure this small amount of time. But Central Park, in the meantime, we've discussed, you know, what will Central Park look like? And you can go on centralparkfirestone.com. You can see the areas that residents of the town have said, this is where we want to see things. If you haven't seen it, go look at it again.
Yep.
But we need to kind of kickstart and get some incentives. And so right now we're in the process of creating a downtown district authority, which will help get some incentives to people that want to come in and be part of Central Park.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
so, yeah, and that process is moving. Tonight we'll be voting on a couple of ordinances to move that forward.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
cool. That's exciting. Is there any talk or ideas of what's going to happen with the schools out here? Because Firestone keeps growing, and I hear from a lot of other moms that there's not a lot of room in the schools and things happening out here. So
Yeah.
what's the plan for that?
Well, that is, we don't have much say in that. I mean, St. Vrain Valley School District is what we call a referral agency. So everything that is planned in Firestone as far as property, especially residential, they get notice of it.
Okay.
And then they tell us what, you know, we get a lot of cash in lieu, which means that they will take the cash, but they're not going to do anything with it because supposedly, you know, they have their numbers, so I have to trust them
Okay.
that they have the space to deal with the extra pupils. But, and just to let you know, I believe we have Superintendent Don Haddad coming to the April 9th
Oh, good.
board meeting to give us an update on some of
Oh,
that
great.
stuff. So
Okay.
be a good idea to, if you can't come to it personally, you can get us online at firestoneco.gov.
Okay.
Go to board meetings, government to board meetings, and he should be there letting us know what's going on.
Awesome. That's exciting.
I,
Okay.
and we have, as part of Central Park, we're looking at a possible school in Central Park, just next to the
wow.
library. What
Wow.
better place to put a school than right
Right.
next to
Yeah.
the library,
That'd be
right?
amazing.
There's some RFQs going out for that.
Okay.
We have the town hall, we have the police station, we have the library. Why not put a park in kind of the civic area of this park? Or I said put a school in the civic area of the park.
Very cool.
Do you know elementary, middle?
I think it'll be probably maybe either a private school, a charter school,
Nice.
or something of that nature.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you're
So
still
what
looking
that
at
looks
all
like, I
options,
don't
yeah.
know.
Okay.
We're just looking, we did the RFQ, so it's out there.
Awesome. All right.
Yeah.
More things to come in Firestone.
You
So
know,
that's exciting.
and to elaborate a little bit, personally what I'd like to see, Central Park is huge. It's 350 some acres, 250 some acres of buildable property. We have some oil and gas setbacks from old wells that have been there that have been plugged and abandoned, except for the pad site on the southeast corner.
Okay.
That'll be there for quite some time. But what I would like to see is Firestone, and everybody knows this, does not have a downtown.
Right.
They don't have that place to go to meet people,
Right.
to do things.
Yep. Yep.
Well, to give people an idea how big this area is, Mile High Stadium, big thing, right? Plus the parking, a lot of area downtown. We can fit Mile High Stadium plus its parking. We can do 8 Mile High Stadiums
Oh my
in
goodness.
this area.
Wow.
That's how big of a project
I
this
wouldn't have
is.
thought that.
I mean, 254 acres sounds
That's-
huge in my mind, but that really.
Yeah, it gives you an
Puts
idea
it in
how
perspective.
big of an
Yeah,
area.
that's-
So,
Wow.
So, you know, a lot of people, say, hey, we want an indoor water park, or we want a pool, or we want a rec center. Or how are you going to fit all that in there?
Yeah. Let me tell you.
We would be 30 years filling this area before we filled it up to what we would, normal
Yeah.
building stuff.
Right.
But we
Yeah,
want to fill
capacity.
half of it with indoor, outdoor recreation. Well, I'll say indoor right now. The east side and a little bit of the south side is reserved for open space recreation.
Good.
And if you look on that website that I mentioned earlier, you have outdoor recreation as far as your soccer fields, baseball fields, lacrosse, all that stuff going in. There's a tennis club that wants to come in. They said they would build and
Wow.
provide tennis courts to the public.
Very cool.
Wow.
They better make some pickleball in there too.
Yeah, well, I've never played it, but I want to. It
Right?
looks like
It
a
looks
lot
so
of
fun.
There's swimming, maybe an indoor water park,
Yeah.
which if you look at indoor water parks on their own, they look huge, but when you look at it, they really don't take that much space.
Right. Right.
Let's see, we have what we call our passive park, which would be your green normal park. We'll put, we'll keep the disc golf that we have out there, but have it.
So
but
it'll be mostly recreational.
a lot of outdoor recreation. There'll be even in the southeast corner and maybe even on the east side, if that's how the plans pull out, where that's still normal native
Nice.
open space where
Yeah.
people can just walk out there.
Yeah.
We plan on keeping the sled hill that's out there.
Nice.
We want to actually expand upon that and make it bigger so that more people can come in the wintertime.
Awesome.
You know, the golf course, the disc golf course, be incorporated into the hill and have a bigger place for wintertime activities. You know, maybe even an ice rink
That would be fun.
would be there. We don't
Yeah.
know what it's going to look like yet, but these are things that we want to do. One of the things that's really high on the list that people wanted to look at or have is an amphitheater.
How fun would that be?
That would be fun, right?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That'd be
What
really
would go
fun.
great with an amphitheater?
Food trucks.
Well, food trucks or even restaurants,
Restaurants,
right?
yeah.
So on the west side near Colorado Boulevard, what we're calling the Gateway, we have commercial in there because we got to have revenue to pay for the park
Sure.
without raising
Yeah.
taxes
Yep,
to do
yep,
this,
yep.
right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So if
smart.
we don't want taxes, we have to have commercial.
Okay. I like that.
It's one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do commercial there where we create a entertainment district
Nice. Yeah.
where people can go have dinner and then go to the amphitheater for a concert or a play or whatever.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and bring some culture to the town as well.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Very
And
cool.
so what that looks like, we don't know yet because we have no plans, but we have the zoning for it per se.
Okay.
So
You're
there's-
working hard, Don.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you are. You got a lot of great ideas.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's, and I walk my dog Faith, my golden retriever. If you read the Firestone Voice, she has her own little column in there too.
I love that.
Fact or fiction with Faith.
Yeah. I was going to ask you how the pup was.
Oh, she's doing good.
Good.
She's ornery as ever.
I bet so.
But
That's
yeah,
great.
so yeah, that's what's going on there.
Okay. Wow. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, let's switch gears just a little bit because you've done a lot in your first year. Have you had your first year?
in a year, I don't think.
April 3rd will be the 1 year anniversary
Wow,
of
okay.
the election. April 27th was the day I was sworn in.
Okay. We're coming right up on it.
Yeah.
You've got a lot done.
We should bring you cake that day, Don. What's your favorite cake? Yeah.
My favorite cake?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's red velvet's always good.
Okay.
Spice cake works too.
Okay.
All right. You're going to need a lot of cakes on April 27th.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, what inspires you? What do you love about Firestone that makes you so passionate about leading this community? Because you've done a lot for this community over the past years, even before becoming a mayor.
This is home.
Yeah.
This is home. Both my wife and I are native Coloradans. I was born at Boulder Hospital, but grew up in Longmont. My wife is a Carbon Valley native. She was born and raised in Decano.
Okay. Very
And
cool.
so you bring the two together
Yeah.
in a corner, and we settled on that. And this is home. We love this town. We know that it's going to grow. We want it to be smart and still have that small town feel. And I think we can do that. We just have to be very smart about it.
Right. Right.
And so yeah, that's why we're here. I mean, you still see stars at night. You know, And that's what got me when we first moved out here.
And you want to keep it that way? You want to keep the stars?
We would, yeah. I mean, there's downlighting you can do to
Yeah.
keep the stars, and I think we should do that.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
that's my motivation. Is I just love it's who we are.
Yeah,
We're natives.
that's cool. You can feel your passion when you talk about the projects and things coming
Yeah.
up. So I'm happy to have somebody like you in office to help run the.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you. I
thank you for
appreciate
your
that.
service.
Yeah,
Run the vision,
I
yeah.
do appreciate that, and I do. You know, again, I think most people know I'm a retired firefighter. I care about people. I really do.
Right.
And I want to help them. And I helped them medically and in emergency situations for a long time. And now I just want to continue to help people.
Love
It's
that.
just who I am.
I love that. That's great.
Well, and I think that's, why Kendra and I are doing this too, because it's such a great area.
Yeah.
We have such good,
Yeah,
mayors
exactly, and you're helping
and
people.
council, that have, show their passion for the area. So that's why we're trying to highlight it. And, people like you who love the community. So,
Yeah.
thank you for your service as a
Well,
firefighter
thank you.
and as a mayor.
Yes.
So,
Thank you very much. I
now as a
appreciate
mayor.
that.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
I don't. Do you have anything
we
else?
talked about Target and
Yeah, we
did
talked
did
about
it? Okay.
Target,
Okay.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay,
the new
good. Just want to
construction.
make sure we went over all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it for right now.
Okay.
We're trying to work on streets the best we can.
Right. That's always that's a perpetual
Yeah.
Colorado thing.
Yeah,
I think
and-
statewide.
Yes.
And just so everybody knows, a couple of years, 3 years ago, the town of Firestone, we enacted that, we didn't have this before, that development, when they come in, they have to upgrade the streets and the roads in their area, congruent to their property, and
Oh.
then regionally if it's a big enough project.
That's awesome.
So the development will be paying that. Also, our water plant. Okay, we do have a new water plant. I know water rates are through the roof. I don't like them any more than you do. But the town of Firestone has no control over that. We're just the pass through. We're the ones that you pay for the water, but Central Well County Water District is who we get the vast majority of our water right now from. And if you really, really want to opine to why your water rates are so high, they are a governmental entity. They have a board just like we do. Those are the people you should be contacting and going to their meetings,
Gotcha.
because they tell us what they're going to charge us, and then we have to
You
just
pass it
pass that through.
Right.
For the first 3 years that they started raising rates very, very high, the town of Firestone ate those rates. Then we got to the point where our water fund could not eat those rates anymore, and we had to
Sure.
pass them through. And that's why you see the big rate.
Yeah.
Our new water plant is online. It's going to serve the new construction.
Okay.
Now, it's not different system. All the water comes into all one system. It's water law, and that would take way longer than this interview.
Right.
But we do have a water plant that's online, and it will be so the water that we have from Central Well County Water District, we will no longer be getting new water from them, but they will continue to provide us with the water that we have with our contracts already.
Okay.
So they will never go away. They're, we want them. We're a partner, and we want to
Yeah.
be good partners.
Right.
But the water plant will be serving the town, and we're already looking at plans to upgrade the water plant from its 1.5 million a day to 5 million
Okay.
gallons a day. We're already planning that process, because
Great.
by the time we're done with this process of the upgrade, it'll be 2030.
Oh wow.
So it's
okay.
that's how far ahead you have to plan something like this.
Wow.
So
Okay, that's good
Yeah.
to know.
Wow.
Good to know.
hopefully we didn't go too long.
Yeah.
No, not at
we
all.
didn't.
No,
We
this is
didn't
all
go too
great
long. But on
information.
that, thank you, Don, for your time today. We
Yes.
sure do appreciate getting back together with you and visiting and learning what you've been doing here in Firestone.
Well, I appreciate the offer to talk with residents about what's
Yeah.
going on.
Well, and we're getting a little more traction. So thank you for all tuning in and taking the time to visit with Don with all of us. And we hope you are loving where you live, because we sure love our Carbon Valley. So
Love it.
bye for now.
Bye.